All right, fellas, it is December, which means it is almost the unofficial start of trade season, December 15th. Those contracts, Grant, as you know well, they can be dealt. Everybody gets excited, starts talking about it. So let's talk about it here. Let's talk about some of the names that we're watching the closest as we head into trade season before the February trade deadline. Kurt, I'll let you go first. Who's the guy you're keeping your eye on there?
I'm watching a group of guys a little bit because there's a whole little cadre of misplaced point guards who seem maybe Trae Young in Atlanta. We'll see. They're 11-5 without him. There's suddenly a path. But the guy I'm really watching is Ja Morant in Memphis because, guys, you don't have to be a body language expert to know he's not really happy right now. He is not happy where he's at. He wants out. I think Memphis, who's gone 5-4 with him out right now, might be open to moving him. The real question, is there a market for him?
Well, availability is the best ability, I think someone said to me once. And that's a tough one because you don't know how he is with availability on the court. And you also don't know how he is as a fit culturally with your team. So it's a big risk.
Yeah.
Talent's there. We know that, right?
Yeah, but he's still, right now, if you watch him this season, he's not getting as many shots at the rim. He's not blowing by guys. He doesn't look like the Ja Morant when he was an all-star a few years ago.
I would think, though, like my theory on Ja Morant right now is that the way the Grizzlies are playing, which is better, like they've been a little bit better over the last couple of weeks, maybe motivates them more to keep him and see if they can get through to him. Because to Grant's point, like I don't know that the market is, it's not robust, that's for sure. You might be able to swap a bad contract with Sacramento or somebody like that to do a deal. But you don't want to do that if you're...
Zach Kleiman doesn't do that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Zach's not one to... He holds on to his assets until...
Right. And if you're Memphis, you're looking around, you got Zach Edey playing like Will Chamberlain right now. You're going to continue to get guys back on the floor. Like maybe that lights a fire onto Ja Morant. I don't know what... I've long since gone past trying to figure out what goes on in Ja Morant's head. Like I don't get it. But... if the team's starting to play better and Edey looking like, fringy all-star type and, Jaren Jackson coming back and all these guys starting to slowly get healthy and into the mix, maybe that inspires. That's kind of my view on Memphis. I don't look at Ja Morant as being necessarily available right now.
Yeah. Again, Zach Kleiman he's a smart GM. He's also a GM that really loves his assets and he's not going to just throw something away because he's feeling like, the minute something is like a low market, that's not usually the time that he starts moving. So I would be surprised, but it's worth checking because every team is checking, right?
Yeah, right.
One name that we talked about before, I think James Harden's name should be thrown in there as well. I don't see why his name shouldn't be included if you're talking point guards, teams that are struggling. Is he movable? His contract's not as bad.
If you can give the Clippers a first, I think they're suddenly very interested.
Yeah, there's just different pathways where I think Harden could be available, and I've heard like there's so many different concepts. What if you did like a Trae for Harden or something like that? There's different ways that it could be manipulated to work. But one thing also, you said the unofficial trade season opening. I don't think a lot of fans know this, but the Orlando showcase that happens, the NBA showcase. It used to be in Vegas. It's where the G League showcase, or the G League players. That is like the essential for if you're a baseball fan, like the winter meetings. That's where it is. Like all the GMs and everyone goes there, and they start talking trades like immediately. That's what they're there for. Obviously, they're watching the players. They're watching what's happening out there. But man, they go out there, and it's like it's something that it's actually really funny to watch because you start seeing them potting like off, like they go to a corner, and you see them talking about something. You're like, they're having trade discussions right now.
So if you're in Orlando this year, who's the guy that you're talking about? Who's the guy you think is going to generate the most buzz?
It's Anthony Davis. And I'm not saying the Mavericks, and I reported on this the minute Nico Harrison was fired. The Mavericks aren't just doing a fire sale just to do a fire sale. They the ownership of them, they're not going to be the types that just are like, hey, I bought this team, let's tank now. They want to win. I'm not saying how realistic it is, but they're going to play this out a little longer unless somebody comes in with a Godfather offer and you just take it, right? But like no one's doing that yet because they need to see Anthony Davis on the court. They need to see him healthy, and that's a big risk you're taking. It's a lot of money, and it's a 1-year contract, and if he wants to opt out afterwards, right? Because there's an extension that can probably be made out of this. So Anthony Davis is the name. But then you start looking about what teams can actually do something with him. Because keep in mind, you said John Morant, right?
Right.
Young player.
Yeah.
Can build with him. Anthony Davis is you're getting him because you want to win this moment. You want to win now.
No.
How many teams can win now that can actually take him in? You start bringing the aprons involved in this, and it's a lot harder to make it work. So you really start going down the roster and be like, who's a team that could be like, I want to go for it. I have the money to make it work, but I'm also not playing with the aprons. And most teams that are going for it are messing with the aprons, right? So, Chris, I'm looking at it and I say Chicago's an obvious one.
That was the one I would always
Chicago's
go to,
an obvious one, but I'm going to throw a few out there that just kind of make sense money-wise. Miami, if they wanted to pair him with Bam, they've always been big fish hunting. They could try to do that. Again, this is speculation. Detroit, if they wanted to, I'd advise against it. I probably don't think that they're thinking to do that right now.
Doesn't fit the timeline, really.
But I'm going to throw one out there. How about the Atlanta Hawks? They have Porzingis' $30 million expiring contract. They have other pieces that can be moved. They restocked their draft assets. Maybe they say, hey, this is a vulnerable time right now. Let's go for it. I think they're a team that you look at that bottom group that could fit the bill. But like, again, what makes it difficult for Anthony Davis is there aren't that many teams that are going for it now that can literally like actually do it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I think two things in Dallas. One is Davis has to play for a while, right?
Yeah.
Like he's got to get a couple of good weeks, 3 good weeks through the rest of this month.
6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to get through the first of the year and ditch the minutes restriction, get back to looking like the guy we saw in spurts last year. One of the sentiments I've gotten from people in Dallas is like, yeah, the rebuilding and retooling without these guys is a possibility, but can they be as bad as they need to be, right? Like, can they, like, if you trade AD and Kyrie doesn't come back, you're a bad team. Are you as bad as the Wizards? Are you as bad as what the Jazz could be? Are you as bad as I mean, all the teams that are beneath them, right? The Pelicans, like all these teams that are bad. Like, there's definitely some questions within Dallas that they can really bottom out right now. And I think that's a question too with the Mavericks and trading AD. There's also a possibility. I think Patrick Dumont, look, he fired Nico Harrison, but does Patrick Dumont think that, like, hey, we get all these guys back, maybe we can get to the playoffs. Maybe we're fully healthy. Maybe we can beat a team in the first round. Like, I don't think Nico Harrison's vision, his fever dream, is ever going to come to fruition in Dallas, but could they be a competitive team at the end of this year? Yeah, I think they could get there.
Yeah, I actually, it sounds insane, but yeah, it depends on when Kyrie comes back and when, like, how much can Anthony Davis play. All those things matter, right? But they're not that far off from just saying, hey, let's make some moves around the margins just to see if we can fortify our team. What if we get into the play-in with a healthy team? And I'm not saying they're going to win a lot of games and everything, but like, you also can wait till the offseason before making trades. And the number one thing I can want to stress to NBA fans is that the most return you'll ever get on an investment is in the offseason.
Yeah.
Deadline, there's only a couple teams that can ever really do what you want at a deadline. Now, could there be a desperate team? Sure. Then we've seen big deadline deals. But to really open up the cupboard and say, hey, everybody, come try to get my guy, you wait till the offseason when someone's reimagining their team. They want to go a full season. To take a star and move him onto your team at the trade deadline, you have to now reinvent your entire team. Right? Especially point guards, by the way. And that's the one thing. People are like, oh, if we just add Trae Young or James Harden or John Morant. You're just going to change the entire way your team runs and then you're going to be good. No, that's what the off seasons are for. So all I'm saying is there's a chance the Dallas Mavericks say, hey, nothing's going to win me over with this trade. Let's just wait to the offseason and see. There's no harm in that.